Welcome to NACTV Reads the Banner. My name is Kathy Jasnick, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. You may be joining us online, Neepawa Access Live, WCG 12, Channel 30 Direct Sightline, MTS, or Bell Express View. These broadcasts are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, and donations by viewers like yourself. If you enjoy what you see and hear, please consider supporting us by a donation or by volunteering. Contact our office at 204-476-2639 or NACTV at wcgwave.ca. And today I am reading the Neepawa banner dated Friday, March the 31st. And on the front page it shows a large crowd at Gladstone, and the title is Gladstone Worried About Healthcare Future. Under the photograph it says just over 100 Gladstone residents gathered at the drop-in center on Monday, March the 29th to discuss the healthcare situation with representatives of Southern Health Sansud. Southern Health CAO Kathy McPhail, who is standing with the microphone, takes questions from the crowd on a variety of topics, including the search for a new physician and nurse practitioners for the community. Gladstone residents are concerned about the state of healthcare in their community and recently voiced these concerns to representatives of Southern Health Sansud. Over 100 people packed the Seniors Drop-In Center on Monday, March the 27th, to hear a presentation from Regional Health Authority CAO Kathy McPhail regarding the future of services in Gladstone. Other RHA reps in attendance included Vice President of Medical, Denis Fortier, Executive Director, Marion Woods, and the Director of Health Services for Gladstone and McGregor, Shirley Gunther. The evening's discussions were primarily focused on the staffing situation for doctors and nurse practitioners, or they will be referred to as NPS. The community is currently allotted 2 physicians and 2 NPs who are registered nurses with advanced training in diagnosing and treating illness. One of the doctors is retiring at the end of March. While both NP positions will soon be vacant, one is already open, while the other will be vacated in mid-April. Questions from the crowd focused on what the Regional Health Authority is doing to entice practitioners to work in Gladstone, and more importantly, keep them within the community. McPhail informed the group that job notifications have been published to fill the NP's vacancies, while an international physician is being prepped to take over the unfilled doctor's position before the fall. The plan is for an international medical graduate to be in place for August, with a supervising doctor from Portage La Prairie to oversee the transition. That is a requirement for this program. We have those doctors training right now and will allocate to the communities of the greatest need. As for nurse practitioners, we have released the job listing and are hopeful that the position will be filled soon, noted McPhail. She added that the concerns that were voiced are similar to those of several other communities across the region and are something the RHA is trying to address. Another issue discussed was a program in which nurse practitioners did on-call work, which means if patients needed to speak with a medical professional after hours, they could phone them. While this model was well received within the region, the RHA found the model to be unsustainable in the long term. The reasoning was the amount of time off that would be accumulated by the NPs in lieu. The situation ended up impacting the number of hours they could work at the health center clinic. Because of that, the RHA decided it would no longer get the nurse practitioners to do the on-call, and it would go straight through the doctors. either locally or through Portage la Prairie. According to some residents at the meeting, that change was a part of the reason why the nurse practitioners decided to work somewhere else. The RHA is not permitted to discuss employee files to that degree and couldn't confirm any of those details. The topic of aging equipment at the Gladstone Health Centre was brought up, with the X-ray machine being the focus point of concerns. Municipality of Westlake Gladstone Mayor David Singal has attended several RHA meetings as a stakeholder. Singal said that while he understands the feeling of frustration around the situation, he knows the RHA is working to ensure Gladstone is once again fully staffed as quickly as possible. What I'm hearing from the RHA is that Gladstone is part of their future and that the hospital is going to be here for a long time. They're continuing to work hard on recruitment. All these stakeholders meetings I've been to make me understand how hard it is to recruit and maintain doctors for rural Manitoba. The doctors have all kinds of reasons for not wanting to stay in rural areas. One of the most prevalent appears to be a lack of case diversity. Over time, they lose some of their skills simply due to lack of use, noted Singal. I know people are frustrated with losing doctors and NPs. You can't blame them because they thought we had a good thing going here, and all of a sudden they're gone. I have faith that the RHA is continuing to do what it can for Gladstone. And when I say Gladstone, I don't just mean the town, I mean the whole municipality. Singal added that the strong attendance at the meeting is a good thing because it shows the RHA that the future of local medicine is a big issue for the public. And it seems to be a big issue in just about every community these days. And casting a shadow. The top left-hand picture shows Jessica Hares Lawless and Wright Adjinegi. They spent time this week shadowing at the Neepawa banner. This week, 2 NACI students spent 3 days job shadowing at the Neepawa banner. Adjinegi is from a small Hungarian town in Slovakia. Aside from her regular hobbies of annoying her best friends, she loves exploring new places and traveling. Last summer, she embarked on the journey of her life to a place far away from home, Neepawa, Manitoba. Aggie came to Neepawa as part of the Rotary Exchange Program and is staying with a host family for the year. On this journey, she realized she has a deep love of Netflix and peanut butter. The downside, of course, in traveling to Canada is having to endure the freezing temperatures. When asked if she could be any cartoon, she replied with Garfield for her deep love of cats and her inability to do anything famously productive, and because she has a profound ability to make people laugh from her incredible sarcasm. Aggie came to the Neepawa banner because she likes to try new things and wanted to see the processes that go behind creating a newspaper. Jessica Hares Lawless has lived all around Manitoba, but her heart always brought her back home to Neepawa. She has always had a passion for creative writing and wants to be a journalist when she is older. This love brought her to the Neepawa banner to gain some experience of her dream job. As a child, she lived in Winnipeg, and since then she's moved to Gladstone, Deloraine, and Arden. Her hobbies include taking pictures of her friends, if they let her, and nature. Unlike many Canadians, she prefers jam over peanut butter. She likes to think that she's good at baking, but her friends disagree. When asked which Disney princess she'd be, her answer was Megara from Hercules. And the Kaleidoscope concert delights, and there's several photos here. One photo pictured at the Roxy during the Kaleidoscope's March 25th concert in Neepawa, the Patsy Cline Project, performing Tennessee Waltz at Saturday's concert are left Darren Savard, Amber Bauer, Lisa Brokop, and Darcy Johnston. And right after the concert, Lisa Brokop signed autographs on March the 25th. And I was unable to be there, but it sounds like it was just a super performance. And out of Helen's kitchen, French, tourtière, and maple. The first French colony in the New World was established in 1603 at the Bay of Fundy. In 1608, Samuel de Champlain set a colony in what we now know as Quebec. They recognized the importance of women in the New World, and the king gave a dowry to all filles du roi, daughters of the king, that came to the new colony. They worked hard alongside their husbands, and the colony prospered. My French paternal ancestors came to Canada in 1634. The new settlers lived as a distinct cultural community where parish and family were the basic social foundations. Their first cookbook came from France in 1825 and was called La Cuisinière. However, it was used mainly by the middle and upper class housewives, as the habitants could not read. Later in their journey, many pioneered the West. In Manitoba, they founded the towns of St. Boniface, St. Rose, St. Agathe, Lac de Bonnie, Laurier, and Notre Dame de Lourdes, to name a few. The most important religious holidays for the French Canadians are Christmas and Easter. I remember the Christmases of my youth. Young and old went to midnight mass, and when we got home, we ate tourtière and sweets and opened our gifts. We loved to gather with extended families, playing barouche, which is a card game, eating, music, and singing, and so much laughter. The joie de vivre was contagious. Should you ever have the chance, attend the Prairie's largest winter festival, Festival de Voyageurs, or the world's largest kitchen party. French-Canadian cooking had its roots in their mother country, seasoned with the ingredients Canada had to offer. Welcome to Le Bon Table and some joie de vivre. And tourtière. 2 pie shells and tops, 2 pounds ground pork, a pound of ground beef, 3/4 a cup finely chopped onion, a cup of finely chopped celery, 3 garlic cloves minced, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of ground thyme, and 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon cloves, 1 teaspoon allspice, 1.5 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons dried parsley, 2 cups chicken broth or water, and 2 cups mashed potatoes. In a large skillet, cook beef, pork, onion, celery, and garlic over medium heat until meat is no longer pink and vegetables are tender. Remove from heat and drain. Stir in broth and seasonings until well blended. Stir in potatoes. Line 2 pie plates with pastry. Divide meat mixture between the crusts. Top with pastry. Trim, seal, and flute edges. Cut slits in top. Brush with milk if desired. Bake at 375 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes or until golden brown. And Grand Père Canadien, which is maple dumplings. 2 cups of maple syrup, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon salt, 4 teaspoons baking powder, 3 tablespoons butter, and 3/4 cup milk, approximately. Mix the syrup and water in a pot with a tight lid. Bring to a boil. Mix the flour, salt, and baking powder. Cut in the butter. Stir in enough of the milk to make a drop batter. Drop by spoonfuls into the boiling syrup. Cover with lid and cook 20 minutes without removing the lid, and serve immediately. Ooh, that sounds very, very sinful. And just a reminder of the Wednesday night bingo, which is part of NACTV's way to make a little bit of money, and plus it's a fun way to do it, and there's always a good amount of money involved. And performers ready to take the stage. As performers are putting the final polish on their performances, the organizers of the 51st Annual Neepawa and District Fine Arts Festival are setting the stage. Taking place April the 6th to the 8th at the Knox Presbyterian Church in Neepawa, the event offers singers and pianists a chance to hone their skills, have some fun, and possibly win some scholarships. Cheryl Beaumont, a member of the festival's executive, says that this year's festival has 146 entries. This number is down from last year, but she explains that last year's festival had 22 graduating students who didn't return this year. The festival offers a lot of benefits to the participants. Beaumont explains that they get the opportunity to perform in front of an audience of friends and family. Pianists get the chance to perform on a grand piano. Choirs get the chance to sing with friends in their hometown. And multi-generational piano duets help the whole family to participate. Participants also receive valuable feedback from an experienced adjudicator. This year's adjudicator is Leanne Lee, who is a graduate of University of Manitoba and currently maintains a full and active piano teaching studio in Winnipeg. Beaumont explains that she also works with many professional and amateur groups and is on the faculty at the Rosamond Summer Musical Academy. Many participants will come to the festival for multiple years, which gives all those involved in the festival the experience of seeing the young performers grow. As a mother, I started by watching older kids play their advanced piano pieces and was in awe of their abilities. Now, my daughters are the older kids, playing more difficult pieces. It is nice to see the children gain more confidence and memorize their pieces, said Beaumont. The festival is open to spectators who can come and watch the end result of the performers' hard work. The musicians have spent hours practicing to perfect their pieces, and Beaumont explains it's a showcase of talent and music students who are wanting to improve by playing in public and being adjudicated. This year's executive is made up of Rhonda Dickinson, Cheryl Beaumont, Kim Chapman, Judy Elgert, Sandra Wiebe, Angie Tester, Carolyn Pajak, Cindy Kwikowski, Sylvie Tomanico, Carolyn Durston, Kim Smith, and Sharon Smith. Beaumont explains that the size of the executive was doubled this year, from 6 to 12 members. She adds that longtime board member Carolyn Durston, who has been on the committee since the 1980s, has spent the last year training new committee members, answering many emails, phone calls, and hosting many planning sessions at her kitchen table. She is passionate about music and has readily shared her expertise to pass on that passion to the community. She has been our mentor every step of the way, explained Beaumont. The evening concerts will showcase the festival's scholarship winners. Beaumont explains that scholarships have been collected from many community-based organizations, as well as donations made by individuals. We are appreciative of the support from the community, donations from organizations and friends of the festival, donors, are important to allow the festival to give scholarships and to also pay for costs to allow the festival to continue, she said. And just to note, the NACI drama this year is Beauty and the Beast, and tickets go on sale Saturday, April the 8th. Performances are on the May 4th, 5th, and 6th. Excuse me. Still got the cold. And Kate Jackman Atkinson's column, My Perspective, today is entitled Food for Thought. Agriculture is extremely important to our region, but as many people know, the real money isn't in primary production. In agriculture, changing a commodity into a more finished product adds greatly to its value. There are many companies, including Neepawa-based Farmery Brewery, who have taken this route. They not only make beer from their barley, they have also started packaging it into products such as cake mixes. The problem is that going from farmer to middleman is an expensive step. For those looking to produce food products, it's also one mired in regulations and red tape. In Manitoba, food produced for public consumption must be prepared in a certified and inspected commercial kitchen, which is an expensive undertaking for an individual entrepreneur armed only with an idea. The province has made it slightly easier for people to dip a toe in the industry by establishing less stringent rules for vendors at farmers markets. There, vendors are allowed to sell products that haven't made it in an approved kitchen, provided they don't contain any potentially hazardous foods. Manitoba health inspectors consider hazardous foods to include meat or meat products, poultry or poultry products, milk or milk products, or any food with these products as ingredients. This means that products such as homemade pierogies, cabbage rolls, sandwiches, and cream-filled pastries can only be sold if they've been made, packaged, and labeled by an approved establishment. Anyone wanting to sell in any other environment, including selling pastries to the local tea house, must prepare their food in a kitchen that holds a food service establishment permit issued by Manitoba Health. Located in halls and community centers, rural Manitoba towns are full of approved kitchens, but few have taken the step of advertising and making these spaces available for rent. Last week in Neepawa, Jane Julgard of Manitoba Agriculture's Food and Agri-Processing Branch spoke to a group in Neepawa about this very issue. Julgard helps maintain the province's list of community kitchens available for rent and can help connect kitchens with food entrepreneurs looking for kitchen space. There are currently 30 kitchens on the province's list, but none in the Banner's coverage area. The closest are in Dauphin, Parkland Crossing, and Brandon, Global Market Community Kitchen. There isn't even one in Portage. This idea is a win-win for both groups. It gives community facilities another revenue source using existing infrastructure. These facilities already rent out their kitchens when needed for hall rentals, but few offer rentals the other way around. For entrepreneurs, it gives them access to a place where they can legally prepare any food they wish to sell. They only have to obtain a permit from the health inspector, which is free. The viability of rural communities depends on the ingenuity of their residents and their ability to diversify. Making food products is a logical step in an area that produces an abundance of agricultural products, from grains to fruits to vegetables to meats. These types of mutually beneficial partnerships can create much needed revenue streams for both individuals and groups. And Rita Friesen's Homebodies column, entitled Fleeting Thoughts. Years ago, I was assigned a book written by Ralph Milton, This United Church of Ours. The author relayed the formation of the United Churches and a history of the process. He then underscored how the church is unique and a work in progress. I liked his writing style. This week, I picked up another of his books, a collection of musings, personal and from observing this world of ours. I still like his writing style. It came as a bit of a surprise that Ralph Milton was born Friesen and spent his early years in Horndine. When he had opportunity to get into broadcasting, the station required him not to use a Mennonite name. Despite his mother's plea to not change his name, he did. His writing carries a respect for his heritage and culture. One musing reflected on the meaning of the word nobren, to neighbor or speak to a neighbor. I had almost forgotten the word. It is much deeper than gossip or idle conversation, but not as deep as theological dissertation. It is a catching up conversation. How the crop is doing, how Billy is doing in school, weather patterns, who needs help with what this week. Gossip is more like chatter, suppositions, and speculations. An idle conversation is chewing on a subject and not doing anything about it. Just my view, but I enjoy a good Nobren. So thankful for the warmer weather. Dog walking can be spontaneous. Forget the wind pants, the toque, the mitts, the parka, and the heavy boots. Grab a light jacket and a little blue bag and head out. Downside is the wet. Good thing the dogs can learn new schedules. Right after a long walk, they wait in the garage while I adjust the shower temperature, and then one at a time they are allowed in for a warm shower. They submit to the towel dry, but can't wait to finish up by rubbing their damp bodies along the hall wall. We adapt. I'm not the only one itching to get at yard work. Well, itching to get outside and do something. I removed the string of holiday lights from the hedgerow, chipped at ice at the north door, and I'm eager to get a bigger project. I need an outdoor wash line, and I think I can do it myself. The corners of the raised garden bed need reinforcing, but I don't want to stand in puddles while operating electrical tools, so I'll wait. Once again, I am thankful for family and friends. I have the time to sit and Nobren when the kids call. Pictures of the great-grands fill me with delight. Sharing my family's faith journey is delightful. There are times when I secretly smile at how wise and mature my children are. And then I remember they're middle-aged. How did that happen? Spring has sprung, and all is well in my world. Always a good read. Ag Expo to showcase industry. A couple of months ago, Cam Tibbett, who manages Monroe Farm Supplies in Neepawa and serves as vice president of the Neepawa Natives Hockey Club, started pondering about the team, the ag industry, and the impact both have on the area. Tibbett wanted to recapture some of the excitement that buzzed around the former NEPEX trade show from a few years back and set up an event that would showcase the ag industry. Tibbett teamed up with Matt Lowry, Scott Newton, and others to approach the ag industry people about the concept. From those seeds, a major event has sprouted. The first annual Neepawa Ag Expo is slated for the Yellowhead Center Hall on Thursday, April the 6th at 1 p.m. There are 40 ag industry partners participating with displays of goods, equipment, and services. There will be 3 guest speakers who start their presentations at 2:30 p.m. Speakers include John Heard, CCA certified, whose topic will be spring fertilizer options for N and P. Jacqueline Gerard of Backswath Management Inc. will be speaking on benchmarking farm profits, and Justine Cornelson of Canola Council will present Canola 101. A beef, pork on a bun supper is planned for 6 p.m. There will be a cash bar, and around 7 p.m. over 40 major items will be auctioned off. Each participant is bringing a major auction item, so it is a great opportunity for farmers to buy seed, fertilizer, or equipment rentals by auction. All the net proceeds will go to the Neepawa Natives hockey team to help with annual operating expenses. The Natives hockey team have just completed a successful season, having gone to the playoffs, where they took on the first place Steinbach Pistons. On the heels of the playoffs, the team hosted a very successful spring camp with nearly 100 participants. The team also started their weekly Chase the Ace event last Friday, and it will be held every Friday at 6 p.m., except Good Friday, at the Yellowhead Center Arena. And there's a very large ad here about the first annual Neepawa Ag X to be held April the 6th, with all the major suppliers and everything in it. It should be quite a very good event. And Salvation Army benefits from the International Food Drive. On March 24th, the Neepawa Salvation Army received a donation from the Tau Gamma Phi Fraternity of Neepawa. The donation was part of the organization's worldwide food drive and the first time for a Neepawa chapter. And there's a photo here showing them holding up a large poster from the Tau Gamma Phi fraternity, which is really, really good thing to do. Excuse me. We will go to the obituaries right now, and then we will go back to the sports. Lois Jean Thompson Hudon. Lois Jean Trouble Thompson Hudon passed away surrounded by family on the morning of Saturday, March 25th at Brandon Regional Hospital after a short battle with cancer at the age of 58. She is survived by her parents, Frida and Earl Thompson of Minnedosa, husband Brian Hudon of Minnedosa, children Kayla, Brendan, and Matthew Hudon of Minnedosa, siblings Gord, Val Thompson of Minnedosa, and Audrey Marcel Gousseau of Winnipeg. Lois was born on June the 5th, 1958 in Minnedosa. She graduated from the University of Manitoba in 1985 with a degree in agricultural plant science. In 1986, she married Brian, who she met in Winnipeg in a horse barn converted to a study hall over a burnt cup of coffee in her second last year at the University of Manitoba. Lois ran the family farm with Brian since 1988. They welcomed 3 children, Kayla, 25, Brendan, 22, and Matthew, 20, into the world during this time. And Lois set about teaching them life's lessons. Her children remember her as a kind and patient mother who gave them the tough love that drove them to pursue their goals and succeed. She was very dedicated to her family and would not hesitate to stop in the middle of a workday to help them, even if she had to work at night to make up the time. She was dedicated to her community and involved in 4-H for many years, teaching kids how to ride their horses and life skills from public speaking to running a meeting. She was a member of the church board and was a long-time volunteer with Farm Credit Canada's various community programs, including Drive Away Hunger and Habitat for Humanity. Lois worked as a relationship manager for Farm Credit Canada for over 30 years. She was well known and respected in her community and profession. Farmers across Manitoba requested to work with her because they knew that she would fight for them and give them the best, most realistic advice that she could. She was steadfast in her belief that farmers were the backbone of the community. Lois loved the outdoors, traveling with her family and riding her horses. She took great pride in her very large garden, orchards, crops, and animals. A celebration of life service and reception is scheduled for Saturday, April the 1st at 1 p.m. at the Minnedosa Conference Center. Pastor Elgin Hall will officiate the ceremony. Interment will take place in the Cadassus Cemetery. All are welcome to attend and celebrate Lois's life. In lieu of flowers, please send donations to a charity of choice. Her family would like to thank the nurses and doctors, especially Dr. Joanne Mayer at Brandon Regional Hospital, and close friends Kathy Smith and Betty Schneider, along with her loving sister, Audrey Gousseau, for their help and support through a time when it was most needed. Mabel Mortensen. Mabel Gertrude Mortensen passed away peacefully in McCreary Hospital, surrounded by family at the age of 93 on Thursday, March the 23rd. Daughter of John W. and Gladys A. Graves, Mabel was born on March 24, 1923 in McCreary. Mabel lived and worked her entire life in McCreary and was well known by all members of the community. She is predeceased by husbands James Duggan and Raymond Mortensen. Mabel had 3 boys, Donald, Neil, and Grant, 6 grandchildren, 6 great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandchildren. Memorial donations can be made to Cancer Care Manitoba or local charities. Thanks to friends, family, and the wonderful staff at McCreary Hospital. Funeral service was held on Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. from the Knox United Church in McCreary with Norma Windle officiating. Interment followed in the McCreary Municipal Cemetery. Pallbearers were Matthew Duggan, Rick Duggan, Kyle Duggan, Michelle Stryker, David Duggan, and Jackie Duggan. And those are the obituaries. And Kaleidoscope wraps up successful season. The final concert in this season's Kaleidoscope series played to a full house at the Roxy Theatre on Saturday, March 25th. Lisa Brokaw brought her Patsy Cline project to a very appreciative audience, with many there clapping, stomping their feet, and often singing along. Band members Amber Bauer, Darren Savard, and Darcy Johnston enhanced Lisa's vocal talents with Patsy Cline's songs and with some of her own compositions. After the concert, Lisa provided some insight of her music career. She said, "I was born in Surrey, BC, and moved to Nashville nearly 20 years ago. For a few years, I had a home base there, but I was often away because of extensive travel. Now, most of my touring is in Canada. I'm married and have a 7-year-old daughter, Ivy, who inspires me often when writing my own songs. I have always enjoyed singing, starting when I was about 4 years old. Took guitar lessons at 8 years, progressing with piano, then vocal training at 12. I sang many Patsy's songs before composing my own. After 7 albums, I wanted to get back to my roots in traditional country music, and this concert series is the result. I'm pleased people appreciated the projected images on the stage. It was a joy putting together photos and stories. Neepawa was the first stop in this tour, followed by Deloraine and then communities in Saskatchewan. And we'll just cover the coming Maple Syrup Festival in McCreary. Sweet times are coming to McCreary as the community prepares to host this year's Manitoba's Maple Syrup Festival on April 7th and 8th. In addition to celebrating all things maple syrup, the annual event has also become a celebration of local culture featuring music and dance. The festival will start off Friday night with a maple-themed dinner and concert with alt-country entertainer Kevin Roy. The show is being organized by the Burroughs Trail Arts Council, who chose to host one of their concert series events in conjunction with the festival. There will also be a silent auction fundraised for the festival. The festival really gets underway Saturday with most of the maple events taking place at the golf course. There people can learn how to tap trees, take a horse and wagon out to the sugar bush for a tour, and eat maple taffy and bannock on a stick. There will also be the scavenger and treasure hunts. The maple events will be a little changed from previous years. That's the key of the festival, explained Pam Little, one of the event's founders and organizers. The event is also a family affair, with multi-generations attending as well as hosting. For example, the Sugar Bush tours take place at Bob Gass' farm. Little explains that Gass learned about maple syrup from his grandparents and has now passed on some of the operation to his daughter and son-in-law. Excuse me. This year's festival will also include information about traditional tapping techniques. Little explained that in addition to a presentation and demonstrations about traditional techniques, they will also be showing the 1980 NFB documentary No Nunts, Anishinaabe Shenachekawen K.A. Kanawentak. Nunus was filmed near Ebb and Flow Reserve, and the 10-minute movie follows a woman as she goes to Sugar Island to tap trees. For those ready for a break, the Highway 5 Band and the young musician Caleb Rutkowicz will also be performing at the golf course. Food and snacks will also be available from local groups raising money. In the late afternoon, events at the community center get underway with performances from Mago the Magician as well as dancing. The evening's entertainment will have a strong focus on old-time dance, starting with a workshop with Barb and Bev. Attendees can use the skills they learn in the workshop to keep dancing the night away with the Kennesaw-based Campbell Band. Little explains that the band is passionate about bringing back old-time dance and playing the old Métis tunes they learned in homes around the area. Also on hand will be the Winnipeg-based traditional Métis dancers, one of whom was born in McCreary. Little said that they are excited to showcase local talent and traditions. It'll be like a kitchen party, she said. New for this year will be the inclusion of the former Agassiz Ski Hill location. Little said that Parks Canada will have someone on hand in the Ski Patrol Lounge, which has been gutted and fixed up for use as warming spot for people using the area. Little said that the park has kept the road cleared all winter, giving people access to the area for either winter sports or wildlife viewing. Now in its 5th year, Little says that the festival has grown each year, and while they've added events, maple syrup remains the festival's primary focus. People love the maple syrup story. We don't want to take away from the natural wonder, said Little, adding that people are so excited to see the simple acts, like tapping trees, associated with maple syrup production. Little adds that one of the festival's goals is to encourage families to be active, and she's happy to see families walking to the sugar bush and enjoying the outdoors. For a small community to put on an event like this, Little says it couldn't happen without the volunteers. Last year's event drew about 400 attendees and had approximately 75 volunteers. Many of the hosts and entertainers volunteer their time to the festival as well. And it shows a picture of Claude DeRosier preparing maple taffy in the snow at the last year's Maple Syrup Festival. And optimism surrounds the Natives Prospects Camp. Neepawa Natives head coach Dustin Howden, pictured in the photo here, and the rest of MJHL club's coaches, management, and scouts examined the crop of hopefuls at the 2017 Spring Prospects Camp. And if the 2017 Spring Prospects Camp is any true indicator, the future of the Neepawa Natives is looking very positive. Around 100 young prospects from across North America hit the ice at the Yellowhead Arena this past weekend, hoping to make a lasting impression on the management and scouting staff. The makeup of talent that included about a dozen goaltenders, 25 to 30 defensemen, and around 50 forwards. Natives General Manager Miles Cathcart said that this was one of the largest camps the MHL club has held in quite some time. He added that even more impressively, the level of talent on display was also some of the best in recent memory. As an organization, we are very pleased with what we saw this past weekend in terms of talent. It was a good camp. Our participation numbers were up, and there was a very positive feeling around the rink, stated Cathcart. Byron Billett, Director of Player Personnel, head scout, and the rest of the scouting team spent so much of the hockey season on the road. evaluating many of these players. As well, the coaching staff and some of the players were running the on-ice portion of the weekend. It was a lot of work to put together, but we were happy with the response. Head coach Dustin Howden said a very satisfying part of the camp was seeing the amount of improvement from returning players. Excuse me. It was very exciting for the coaching staff to see that improvement. There were so many talented hockey players out there, and it was good to see how they progressed. The future is pretty bright, Howden said. Byron and Miles have a very good eye for talent. More importantly, they have an eye for character. These young men are the types of people we'd want associated with the franchise. There are many of the players. Now I just lost my. There we go. There are many of the players who will receive invites to training camp, and we'll have to make some tough choices come the fall, but we're very excited. Billet thanked the rest of the scouting staff for putting in hundreds of hours throughout the hockey season to evaluate these players. He also said that seeing the skill set of these prospects out on the ice this past weekend is very encouraging. As the camp drew to an end, a very well-received component of the weekend took center stage in the form of the exit evaluations. These sessions involved the players sitting down with staff from the club and discussing elements of their play they would work on and suggestions for the best way to improve or refine their game. Cathcart said the response to these player examinations has been very favorable. We as an organization have been doing this for years. It provides the players some feedback on how they can improve their game. We give them lots of ice time to show their skills. We're able to see what they can do and offer a thorough review of where their game is at. It's satisfying to see with some returning players that they've taken the previous advice to heart and improved that facet of their skill set. We want to make sure that this is a developmental thing and a means for these players to improve. It's something they want and something they really appreciated, noted Cathcart. The next big event on the calendar for the franchise will be the 2017 MJHL Bantam Draft, scheduled for June in Winnipeg. Cathcart and Billet noted that some of the draft-eligible players from the spring camp have definitely put themselves on the radar, and that this is an exciting time for the Neepawa natives. And fantastic bowling. Club 55 League, some high scores. Ladies high single, Vivian Oswald, 207. Ladies high triple, Pauline Hailstone, 538. Men's high single, Frank Parada, 266. And men's high triple, Jim King, 621. Touchwood Park Bowling of March the 24th, ladies high single, Patty Hadley at 161. Ladies high double, Marla Kawchuk at 282. Men's high single and double, Peter Wickstead, 214 and 317. And the Shamrocks sweep the Plainsmen. The Killarney Shamrocks celebrate a second consecutive Tiger Hills Hockey League championship. The Killarney Shamrocks are once again the Tiger Hills Hockey League champions after sweeping the Carberry Plainsmen in 3 straight games. Killarney solidified its second straight league title with a 2-0 victory on Friday at the Shamrock Centre. Goaltender Brian Archibald had a 25-save performance to earn the win, while Clayton Heinrichs and Reed Gow scored the goals to seal the decisive game. Gow was also awarded the Blaine Jarvis Memorial Trophy as the playoffs' most valuable player. On the way to their second consecutive league championship, the Shamrocks were a perfect 17-0 during the regular season before winning 11 of 12 games in the postseason. As for what's next for Killarney and Carberry, they'll both move on to the Manitoba Cup, which is the provincial championship. Killarney heads into the competition as the defending provincial champions, while Carberry advances for the second straight year as a wild card entry. The Manitoba Cup features top teams from the Tiger Hills Hockey League, Manitoba Senior Hockey League, North Central Hockey League, Southeastern Manitoba Hockey League, and Carolyn Senior Hockey League. And Team Ursel competes at National Curling Championship. Although the curling season didn't end as Terry Ursel and her team would have wanted, it'll likely still be looked at as one to remember. The team, based out of the Arden Lansdowne Curling Club, recently competed at the Senior Women's National Championships in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Ursel, along with third Gwen Woolley, second Tracy Ionia, lead Brenda Walker, and coach John Zversko, were representing Manitoba at this high-level competition. The Ursel rink had a phenomenal start to the round robin with a dominant 10-1 win over the Northwest Territories in their opening contest on Monday, March the 20th. They'd follow that up with a 6-3 decision over Quebec to close out the first day of competition with a 2-0 record. Returning to the ice on March 21st, Manitoba met a much tougher challenge and fell to Northern Ontario 5-4. Team Ursel quickly put that disappointment behind them and bounced back with a 5-4 victory over Alberta. Manitoba picked up 2 more wins on the final day of the round robin, including an 8-6 triumph over the eventual Canadian senior women's winner, Sherry Anderson of Saskatchewan. That would leave Ursel with a 5-1 record heading into the championship round. Excuse me. Ursel's first game in the championship pool was an impressive 7-3 decision over New Brunswick. Unfortunately, Team Ursel's run of success would come to an end as they were defeated by Nova Scotia, Ontario, and British Columbia in their next 3 games. Those losses landed the team a 7th place finish in the championship pool, just out of the final playoff round. In the playoffs, Saskatchewan defeated Ontario in the gold medal game 7-3, while British Columbia doubled up Alberta in the bronze medal matchup 6-3. Neepawa Figure Skating Club end of season update. On March 18, Neepawa's Precision Ice Synchronized Skating Club attended the Skate Canada Manitoba Crocus Invitational Competition in Dauphin. Mini Ice Precision Ice, the Beginner 1 team, earned a bronze ribbon for their skate to Dance With Me. This team consists of Peyton Campbell, Taya Campbell, Jaden Defoe, Olivia Casilni, Bailey Produski, Ali Pollock, Anarchy Shepard, Dimitri Smith, Alyssa Thompson, and Ava Wachowski. Little Ice Precision Ice, our Beginner 2 team, skated to a silver ribbon with their performance to 500 miles. This team consisted of Ashley Bray, Zirakate Bulasan, Ivory Jering, Ashley Laus, Alyssa Nadeau, Ashley Nadeau, Claire Nicholson, Lena Stadnick, McKenna Sumner, and Sarah Thompson. Ice Precision Ice, our elementary team, won a silver medal with their skate to Footloose. This team consists of Claire Beaumont, Vanessa Falk, Kiana Gunnarsson, Kiera Major, Christina Poliniak, Cordelia Smith, Amber Wachowski, and Kyla Wachowski. Ice Precision Ice, our pre-novice team, had a fantastic skate, earning them a 6th place finish as well as a personal best score. This team consists of Annika Atke, Jenna Beaumont, Brooklyn Chartrand, Kara Ellis, Carissa Ellis, Cecily Holm, Allie Jakubowski, Haley Lindsay, Simone Levasseur, Caitlin Stevenson, and Claire Tomanico. The Neepawa Figure Skating Club skaters also attended the Stony on Ice skating competition March 24th to 26th in Stony Mountain for the final competition of the season, with results as follows. Star 2, Addison Atke, merit ribbon. McKenna Sumner, bronze ribbon. Ashley Bray, merit ribbon. Sarah Thompson, merit ribbon. Claire Nicholson, bronze ribbon. Star 2 team, McKenna Sumner and Ashley Bray, bronze. Star 3, Amber Wahosky, silver ribbon. Kiera Major, bronze ribbon. Simone Levasseur, bronze ribbon. Star 4, under 13, Flight A, Cordelia Smith, silver medal. Flight B, Christina Poliniak, 6th. Flight C, Kyla Wahosky, 7th. Star 4, over 13, Flight A, Annika Atke, 6th. Flight B, Haley Lindsay, 5th. Can skate stage 6, Dimitri Smith, bronze ribbon. Introductory interpretive, Cordelia Smith, gold ribbon. Kiera Major, silver ribbon. Amber Wahosky, silver ribbon. Christina Poliniak, silver ribbon. Kyla Wahosky, silver ribbon. Simone Levasseur, silver ribbon. Haley Lindsay, silver ribbon. Annika Atke, bronze ribbon. NFSC would like to thank our coaches, Cynthia Chartrand and Kim Smith, for their dedication throughout the season. And there's several photos here, and there's top showing several members of the Neepawa Figure Skating Club picking up awards at Stony Mountain. And the bottom shows the Neepawa Figure Skating Club elementary synchro team, of which there is quite a goodly number there. And RCMP investigate unusual farm theft. Carberry RCMP are investigating an unusual theft from a farm. On Sunday, March the 19th, RCMP received a report of a silo being broken into on a rural property in the RM of Glenboro, South Cyprus, on Highway number 2, approximately 10 kilometers west of Glenboro. A significant amount of canola seed was stolen from the silo. The suspects brought a grain auger to the farmyard. They proceeded to use the auger to remove the canola seed from the silo. When they were done, they left the auger on the property and drove off with the full grain truck. The stolen seed was worth close to $20,000. Anyone with information is asked to contact Carberry RCMP or call Manitoba Crime Stoppers. That's a big loss for a farmer. And there's a photo here of Ron Nordstrom speaking about his international experience. At the March 22nd Rotary meeting, Ron Nordstrom gave a PowerPoint presentation of his recent month in Guatemala. Ron was part of a 6-member team of 5 retired teachers and team leader Eva Vida. Nordstrom spoke of the vocational training team's trip to Joya Verde, teaching children, teachers, and interacting with local Rotarians and the parents. The school covered grades 1 to 5, with the team leaving a lasting impression of their time spent with all involved. NACTV recorded the presentation, so watch for it to appear on a future date. And that will be a very interesting presentation to watch. And the Plumas UCW met March 16th with 5 members present, reporting 11 visits made to those sick or shut in. Thanks were expressed to the following: Wendy, Laura, and Gwen for advertising for the pancake supper, Laura for purchasing the kitchen supplies, Aileen Tucker, speaker, and Marina Privy, who along with Aileen provided the delicious Philippine foods for our World Day of Prayer service. Thanks to all who came out for our pancake supper, to those who worked and prepared, etc. And that is it for the Neepawa banner for March the 24th. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry I have a cold. Hopefully next week it'll be much better. Please tune in next week. Until then, have a good day.